everybody. All right. Yeah. I am just doing a little bit of organizing on our YouTube channel. I'm shoving all of those Fallout episodes that I've been running, getting them into the Fallout playlist, and I think I'm going to actually build a Enterprise NCC 1701D playlist as well. Okay.
Now, of course, I hadn't had my mic on for all of that, so all they heard was you.
I don't remember what I was saying. I think I was just making noises.
No, you were just talking to me. That part right there.
50 Fallout videos.
What the heck?
That's not counting the archive ones from last year.
None of that now. Yep.
I'm sorry. Everybody, I apologize. That was inappropriate, I guess.
Alright, so let's transfer over to the game. And again, for people who are just tuning in, this is what we're working on. So, let's get to this, shall we?
All right, and I'm bringing up the, let's see, the blueprints. And I'm going to start up the game and start broadcasting myself.
Thanks for the play-by-play.
You're welcome. Those of us that are as special as I, we must talk to ourselves as we work, or else we'll forget what we're doing. Okay. I was about to start doing it again.
Today we're not using your music Minecraft. Alright, what's the last one I need? This one, and I think that'll do for now. Just making sure I have all of the blueprints where I can see them. There we go. Volume's a little high on my music. Yeah, I'm not sure what time Art's gonna be home. I told her not to rush. Okay, so I am exactly where I left myself, which means somebody didn't terminate me. I need to be smart about it and start leaving myself like right over top of something so I can't fall that far. Alright, so are we going back up here to work? Hello.
So my thought is
Mm-hmm.
Phaser ring should be about a little bit more than halfway.
Well, we know that the next row is going to be on level with that one right here. So why don't we just work on that one for now? Because as we do that, we'll make our way down to the phaser ring, and then we can just build it in. So how far out are we just doing a square again? How far out are you going? It's hard to tell from. To wherever I am. So you're going out. It looks like 24.
I'm not sure. Are you going to use paint in the ellipse? Oh, I went to one too far out.
Okay, so that's what you're doing. No, I was just going to duplicate what you were doing over here.
Oh, okay.
How many this direction did you go?
So, everybody, you know, I haven't started mine yet.
Doi.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is Cellist Knight and Glitch playing in Minecraft. We are again working on our
10, 20, 30, 42.
small model of Enterprise NCC 1701B, the Star Trek Next Generation TV show. We are still relatively early on in the build process, and this is a small model, even though it may not seem like it. This is
Yeah.
scale 1 brick to meter. This is very much smaller than the scale.
That's putting it mildly.
Saucer section.
I'm making the the sea lantern marks.
So these sea lanterns that we're throwing up are marking intervals of length in our framework.
And they also just happen to provide light.
Yeah,
Okay, so you got those. Well, and as always, I like to say thank you to my hosts. In this case, today it's iKillOmega, which is Chris, another Pixel Sharks team member, and IonB, who hosts me a lot now. I think primarily because I don't play at the same time as he does, because I think he's in Europe. So, and Arguing End, thank you for that host. It's the first time host. So.
I'd like to throw a thank you out to earlier today when I was playing Fallout. We had a visitor.
Oh yes.
His name was Rufio.
Rufio. Hi, InstaFluff. How are you?
Sent a donation. Anybody that wants to send a donation can go to tiny.cc/pixelsharks.
I got 2 donations today. Yep, I got one from Rufio, and I got one from an old one of my oldest like how long I've known them friends. From the end of my first year of college, so I've known her longer than I've known my wife.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Nope. I met Michelle, also known as Art, almost a full 2 years after I met her. So, yep. So they donated, and Rufio tossed in. I'm almost 60% to my second goal. Yeah.
We had a
So,
nice little chat with him. He'd been browsing Extra Life streams and came upon us.
and then I got to highlight who I'm fundraising for. In this case, it's UNM Hospital, but the reason why is because of Liam, who had some great news today. His counts were up above where they needed to be, so he can go into the next phase of leukemia treatment.
Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes, Zoe?
I just realized something.
What?
Earlier, Camila's mom thought that I was Sienna, and that I'd already, that you called. So I have to fix it fast.
Okay. Do you have the number?
Yes, I do.
Set to 0.
Do you want me? Yeah, I should probably call. You try. Come in here and do it, though. Sorry. Huh? Me? No, I was, Zoe was here. Zoe wants to make sure that her classmate's mom understands who it was that confirmed was coming, because she's pretty sure, because there's another classmate that has a name that's very similar to hers. Zoe is just her internet name. And she is, like, she came in practically in tears that she won't be able to go because of that. So she's using my phone to call her. Yeah, she spent the day surreptitiously interrogating her friend so she could find out what she likes.
The art of subtlety.
Well, in this case, she was trying to find things like colors and preferences and styles and stuff, because I think they're gonna make a hair bow for her, because she's always wearing hair bows. So, who knows? But you'd be surprised. You would be surprised. So, have you watched Go ahead. Have you watched Discovery yet?
I have, and I watched the After Trek. It pissed me off because they kept saying the After Trek, the Trek-based talk show that they had afterwards. They kept saying, we're going to cover the K-less in the room, thinking that
Oh.
Klingons. But while they talked about Klingons, they kept treating like it was this big, super important fan subject, but they didn't address the part of the subject that the fans were actually interested in talking about.
Which
So they
is,
didn't talk about their appearance versus
well,
the original series for the next generation.
well, you have to.
Klingons are a huge subject, which they are textually in the show, but
What?
they treated it as if it's the elephant in the room. But the elephant in the room is their appearance, versus those two reference points. So they didn't address that.
I think it's because it was adequately addressed when the Abrams verse Klingons were revealed. They've talked about it. Yeah, they just said this is what they're gonna look like. You literally can do nothing about it.
I got it done.
Huh?
Maybe I saw them and thought
Okay,
that
go to
it
bed.
was species without realizing they were Klingon.
Well, they weren't really in it for very long. Fluffy, thanks for the follow. I didn't realize you hadn't followed me yet. Oh no, wait a minute. No, he hosted. He's not been assimilated. He was hosting. Thanks, Fluffy, for the host. My signals, I changed all of my sounds, and I'm still trying to remember what they mean. So,
So there was a single scene that, so the Klingon thing, they've said, we're going to address this, we'll explain it, it'll make all make sense.
What are
They've
they-
been trying to not get too wrapped
what-
up in that.
what do they need to explain? 'Cause see, here's the thing about it. Outside of their appearance, they stuck to every bit of Klingon canon that exists. They didn't change any of that.
Well, yeah, and it's only the appearance that
So there isn't really anything that needs addressed. And don't worry, viewers, we will not do any spoilers.
Well, I am going to spoil
Wait,
something that happens maybe 5 minutes in
to the first episode or the second?
of the first episode.
Did you watch the second?
Yes.
Okay. You'd be surprised how many people I know that refused to watch that second episode because, oh, it means I have to go to my computer now. It's like, you weren't already watching it on your computer? What age do you live in?
Oh, I was watching it on the television. I watched it on the television and finished watching it.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I watched it on TV. Yeah, I watched it on TV, but we were watching it strictly through Chromecast because we didn't hook our TV service that we have up to it. So it's like, we're not going to use that. We're going to watch everything streaming. So I think I was undecided as of yesterday if I was going to continue, to pay to watch it because I'm net for now. No, I can do what all the original series fans that have been watching original series since they were kids did. Watch it after it aired. Trek didn't continue because nobody watched it when it was on TV. Trek became the thing that it was. Yeah, the Trek well, no, I know, it's just I find the arguments that original series fans have against this new way of delivering Trek to be kind of disingenuous because they didn't watch it live on TV. They may have watched it in reruns, and sure, they may have been getting those channels for free, but no one has been watching Trek at all unless they owned copies of it. No one has been owning Trek for free, and that's the thing, they had to pay for the copies. So then it comes down to how much is too much for an episode, and right now it's sitting at $1.50 an episode. That's, do the math, that's what? Oh. Math is hard. I'm too tired right now to do math.
It's $6 a month.
No, but I mean, no, 6, 12, 15. It's $15 for the entire season. When it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray, it's going to cost a whole lot more than $15.
The difference is rewatchable. Well, no, because
It's on demand.
service.
Yeah, it's on demand. You just turn it off when you don't want to, and if you feel the need to go back, you go back. You don't have to keep it after the 3 months is over. So, how dedicated of a fan are you? And that's where I start. That's where I start having issues with Trekkies, is they aren't dedicated. See, Star Wars fans, they'll take Star Wars in any form they can get. Now, they may not always like it, but they consume it.
Yes, and that's how I am with this. I think I do not like the decision on CBS's part.
That's,
To
yeah, that's CBS's part.
however,
But you know why they did that, right? You know what was a result of them making that decision? They decided, because they were putting it behind the paywall, that it justified spending more money on it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. A certain other really popular show that everybody has no problem whatsoever paying an extra fee a month to get HBO added to their package so that they can watch that on HBO Go. It's like, so yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Art thoroughly enjoyed it also. Some of the issues I heard were just, the definition of nitpicking. One person said, I paid for, I'm not paying to watch too much character development and too many commercials and not enough action. And I was thinking, do you at any way, shape, or form remember the original, the original series, but even TNG's first 2 seasons? Or if we're just going to go with series premieres, if you can go series premieres, let's go back and look at both, like all of the series premieres. This is better than every other Star Trek series premiere, hands down. Production value, writing, acting, everything. Now, you can say, "Oh, well, I don't like the writing." Like, okay, that's a different discussion. But to say that it was garbage compared to other Trek's premieres is disingenuous on the front of it, and I hate it because they go out and they make it as public as they can to save their friends the trouble, and they end up ruining what could, preventing them from watching something that they could end up enjoying. And so every friend I see posting that, I comment under that, don't fall for this. Go make up your own mind. Yeah, go make up your own mind, because, oh, hey, you can do it for free. Heck, if you're really smart and wait, like, until, wait 2 weeks, you could do a free week and get the first 4 episodes for free.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You could wait until the whole thing is premiered, then do your free week trial and watch the entire thing for free. And if you're smart, there are ways to preserve your view, what you view. Not high quality, but not that I'm recommending anybody do this, but still, one person said, it was just too many commercials. I paid attention. 60-minute TV dramas have 43 minutes of actual program, and it's between 42 and 43, and between 17 and 18 minutes of commercials. I started episode 2 at 9:30 on the nose. We finished at 10:15 on the nose. So that means they added they put 2 to 3 minutes of commercials in there. So he got 15 or 16 minutes less commercials than he would have if he'd been watching it live on TV. Which is what he did. That's the thing that I think this person in particular is just so not used to watching TV anymore that he forgot how many commercials there actually are in broadcast television, which is one of the reasons why broadcast television is struggling to survive, because they are dependent entirely on commercials to pay for them, because everybody can get them for free. So he probably got the full 15 to 17 minutes of whatever. What are you doing? Oh, you're counting? That's 410. 46. I can do that stuff. So, when Art and I sat down discussed it today, I that was how I made the argument to her. We're paying $1.50 an episode. That's cheaper than what it would cost to rent them on Amazon. And we both know full well that regardless of what happens, we're gonna buy the physical copy when it comes out anyway. So it doesn't matter to us if we're renting the episodes. So Fluffy, did you catch the new Star Trek? Are you interested in the new Star Trek at all?
As we're talking about nothing else.
Well, yeah. Well, we're building an enterprise, and it's our cast, our stream. We can talk about whatever we darn well please. Now, if I was in someone else's channel doing this, that'd be different. Like if I went over to Fluffy's channel and started discussing Star Trek there, for one, it wouldn't fit because of the games he plays. His games are all very fun. Although I think he's doing a Tomb Raider playthrough. He really likes the Rise of the Tomb Raider, I think, game, and he's really excited about the movie that's coming out. Oh, so Fluffy watched it and likes it and can't wait for the 3rd episode. So that paywall isn't a block for you then, I guess. Now I'm gonna say out straight up right here. I do not agree with CBS doing it this way. But if you're a Johnny come way too late to the game, this is literally the only move you have. They missed the boat, and they're making the mistake that Hulu. It's not a mistake that Hulu made. Hulu did the only thing that they could do. They got permission to show some backlog, but of current seasons they could only keep 5 episodes up, and it was only after they aired, right? That was the position the networks forced Hulu in. CBS is doing the exact same thing, only they own the episodes, so they're basically just placing an artificial limit on their consumers, not on someone else potentially profiting off of their stuff.
Oh, that, yes.
Okay, yeah, so Fluffy speed runs Tomb Raiders on Sundays, and the rest of the week it's normal action adventure games. Like, he just... Yes, you should. Fluffy is a very entertaining... He's a daytime thing, so sometimes Pixel Sharks will conflict, depending on when you play. Hoping by next week I'll have a better feel for what my workflow is going to be, so that I can get back to having a schedule that I can write down and stick to. I also want to get that cross stitching that I'm working on done, because I think I've found the family that I want to give it to. So, and then after that I have other pieces to work on. Somebody asked if I could make something for them. So I'm going to be doing pixel pop art. It's going to be... It's actually easier than it sounds, because pixels are, squares. And the whole point of counted cross-stitch is you're cross-stitching squares. I mean, you're doing X's, but you're doing them inside a square. So turning a pixel picture into a pattern is really easy. Although I know how to turn any picture into a pattern, because if you just can't get something to make a picture into a pattern, you could just print the picture on graph paper and voila, you have a pattern. But now there are services online that you can use for free to turn anything into a pixel pattern, and you can do different based on how many colors you want. You can get different kinds of, like, the less detail you have, the less colors they use, and it's easier to do pop art when you use less colors.
Stupid. How do I...
What?
Oh, it's because I tried to maintain the aspect ratio. That's why. Oh, I realized...
Aspect ratio to what?
Ellipse was
Are you trying to maintain it to the outside? Yeah. Yeah, it needs to be maintained to the outside.
Okay, so I need to recount.
Yeah. Because the rest of it out, and because we did the top part, the rest of it is all the ellipse that the outer part makes. I'll continue filling. Again, it was so exciting to sit down and watch New Trek.
Exactly. That's what I love about it. Is like, okay, it doesn't... For example, there is something that really irritated me, but it's negligible. It's just a simple scene.
I can pick out something that, like, there. If we're going to be nitpicking, then I could say I didn't like the casting of Michelle Yeoh, because she was a little stilted in that character. I've seen her in other things where she's not stilted at all. It's just, I think for this character, she wasn't the best pick.
That is almost irrelevant to the show.
Yeah, and some of it would be, some of it's you're brand new to a role. So, and I'm trying to not say anything that gives away anything. I know that Fluffy's seen it, but what I may do is just when I upload mine onto, when I change the title later, I will just put Trek spoilers. So it'll be in the title on YouTube and there. So since everyone here that I know of, because I have one ghost viewer that I don't know who that is. Since everyone's here seen it, it's not a long-term problem, because she's not going to be in the show anymore, except maybe in flashbacks. Yeah, they don't have holodeck technology yet, so it's not like she can They can be a version of her like Yar. But I mean, you want to talk about stilted acting? Go back and watch TNG's first episode. Oh my word, the acting is horrible. The only things passable is acting in that 2-hour extravaganza is Patrick Stewart and John Delancey. And John Delancey he was himself. He was the perfect casting for that character, because that's the type of character he plays the most, because he's good at it. So there was that. I didn't necessarily enjoy all of the close-ups on the Klingons. I didn't need that, but something Michelle pointed out was the people who made this were clearly keeping cosplayers in mind, because except for the prosthetics, which are always hard anyway, except for the prosthetics, their the costumes that they use, the uniforms and everything, were very simple in design, so very easy to create. That uniform, I mean, there's basically an updated version of the Enterprise uniform, and there's a reason why Trip Tucker was the first one I did. Hey, the game mechanic. Oh, hang on, I gotta do. Hold on. For anybody that doesn't know, the game mechanic streams also, and yes, his technological distinctiveness will entertain you. He's a morning streamer. Did some Civ this morning, so. Warning, game mechanic, we are discussing Star Trek, so if you haven't watched it yet, let us know. I'll wait until I hear from you before we go any farther. Because we both seen it and Fluffy's seen it, so we are currently building the Enterprise D, which is why Trek's on the mind, besides the fact that we just watched it. I was just so excited to watch new Trek, as I said already. Oh, cool. He says he's fine with discussing it. So I didn't necessarily like... what I was saying was the reason why I cosplayed Trip Tucker first was because that cosplay was so easy to make. All I had to do was buy a patch from the Trek store, find blue flight jumpsuit, and then sew the red lining on it to show that he was engineer. And Michelle made pips for me. And it was it. Then it was just a matter of wearing boots. So it was so, and so the uniforms that they were wearing in this one, you could see the connection to Enterprise, and I think that's going to be another thing that Trekkies complain about is this is the spiritual descendant of Enterprise. I loved Enterprise.
I was going to say I didn't hate Enterprise the way other people did. I was actually very shocked when it went off the air. It's because, okay, I think it's because people are tied to specific Star Trek shows.
Yeah.
Not the Star Trek universe.
Yeah. For me, it's just I like the whole universe. So if you're making something in that universe, I'm going to consume it. Game. Go ahead.
You know, people that have read, and I haven't read almost any of them, people that have read fan fiction, or even canon, fiction that's considered canon to Star Trek stories. It's no different than a variety between different authors and different artists.
Yeah.
Tales of our endeavors.
Oh. Thank you for that, host Game Mechanic. For anyone that's I was thanking Game Mechanic for a host. For anyone that's watching his channel, I'm Guthron, also Glitch for the Pixel Sharks team. We are building the Enterprise and fundraising for. I'm fundraising for the hospital that's helping a friend of the family's son who's fighting leukemia. And you can find out more. Hey, you know what? Somebody might catch it in VOD, Game Mechanic. You can find out more at tiny.cc/pixelsharks to see our team. I gotta get Silver Zodiac and the rest on there. Yeah, no underscore. It's because I control the URL shortener. So, yeah, what you see, the patterns there, that's giving us the 10, like those are intervals of 10, and they double as light if Cellist Mike forgets to turn the sun back on. initially we couldn't do without the sun because it was just too spread out. But now that now that they're all over the place, it's really easy to see. And it looks really cool at night. So, oh wait a minute, you did that. Game mechanic. Did you watch Enterprise? Did you like it? Dislike it? Fluffy, if you're still there, I know you're lurking, but what about you? Did you ever see Enterprise? I liked Enterprise. I thought it had the same kind of growing pains that all of them did, but they all did. So where are you in terms of? Wait a minute. Did I just not do this side, or did you wipe it out?
I wiped something out.
So should I put it back?
Well, I don't know. Let me finish this side and let's see how we like it.
Oh, we'll still need it. But okay, sure. I don't know why this is like this, so I'll put it back. So yeah, it had its growing pains, just like everyone. Got Star TNG, which is still my hands down favorite. That, you know, I still like that, but good grief, those first 2 seasons are barely watchable. I mean, they're more watchable than the last season and a half of TOS, which was just garbage. Which I think a lot of original series fans who grew up as kids watching it didn't realize how bad it was because they were watching reruns, which showed the best episodes. Use baseball. So the movies are your entry point. That's not. I'm finding that to be less and less uncommon. Game mechanic. So the Klingons that you saw, or will see in Discovery, whichever it is, they are very similar to the Klingons that that Abrams introduced, which is a point of contention with some fans. Which at that point I like to say, so did you have the same issue with Star Trek 1 when they changed the Klingons then, and then Star Trek 3 when they changed them again, which was the version that Worf ended up being? And if you watch TNG from beginning to end and into DS9, you'll see the Klingons change, their foreheads adapt as it goes through there. The Trekkies, they're special. This is why I watch all of them, because then I'm not a homer. This is why I don't tell people who my favorite sports teams are in different sports, because then they look at you like you're a homer and they won't listen to you when you say other things. So, but that's a little different with Trek. I've already said TNG is my favorite, primarily because that was the first show that I watched. Yeah, it is very hard to please super nerds. Yeah. But yeah, my introduction to Star Trek was Star Trek 3. Not the greatest Star Trek movie. Which, interesting side story to that. When I saw Star Trek 2 and saw Kirstie Alley, whatever her name is, as Saavik, I didn't like her. Because she was not the first Saavik that I saw. And I met the Saavik from Star Trek 3 at FedCon in Germany in 2013? Yeah, 2013. No, it was Destination Star Trek, which I think it was actually 2014. And I told her, you were my first Saavik. I was the first person that she ever met that said that. Yeah. I was stunned that no one else. But I just, that was, I think Star Trek 3 also came out right before TNG premiered, so there was a lot of people were distracted with there was a little bit of a gap, but I just remember the video that we had of Star Trek 3, it had a preview for Next Generation on the tape, on the VHS, and yeah, it was pretty cool. Standing there as and cosplaying Trip Tucker when I met Connor Trinneer, that was also pretty amazing. And actually, I met him at Dragon Con that year before, and then showed up in at FedCon, and
Did he recognize you?
not at first, but then I thanked him for being such a good easy guest to talent to have for our in our green room. And he's like, did you follow me all the way from like? And then he's like, no, wait, did you travel all this way just to go to Destination Star Trek? And like, oh no, we moved here. you just happened to be here right after we moved here. But yeah, his first look was, maybe do I need to call security? And his second look was, you're seriously dedicated if you traveled all this way just for this. I have so many stories of meeting people that I've seen on TV now thanks to Dragon Con. Not all of them good, but most of them are good. The best one is still by far the John Barrowman story. Also because that's on YouTube, so people can go watch it. So they're like, oh, really? That happened? It's like, yeah, go watch it on YouTube. Did I tell? Oh, you want to hear it? Okay, so this was 2015, so it was the second year that we went to Dragon Con after moving to Germany. And I was the room lead. It was my first year as the room lead. But I was still kind of, supervised. And we had John Barrowman first thing Sunday morning. And John Barrowman that man should come with a warning label. So I'm getting ready fixing issues in the sound system when one of the... Okay.
He does come with a warning label.
Yes.
It's mature audiences.
Yeah, but that panel didn't have that warning. Now they have those warnings, and they don't, and they tell him during the day he has to be more tame. So one of my tech ops crew came running over to me and said, John Barrowman needs to see you right now. Like, me? Like, directly? He's like, well, you're the room lead, so he needs to see you. Like, oh, okay. So I went backstage. He's standing there in bikini brief, jungle themed underwear, and he's put in red heels, and he's getting ready to put on a TARDIS dress. And I just walked straight up to him, kept my eyes on his eyes, got to be professional, which no one else in the room was doing, and asked him what he needed. He handed me his phone. He handed me his iPhone, which I think at the time was a 6S, so it was the new one at the time, and gave me the passcode and said, I need the picture that's on the screen when you unlock it, displayed when we were talking about, when I requested or we're talking about the charity. So I was like, okay. And so then I went running through dressed as Captain America. It's amazing how many people will move out of your way when you're running dressed as Captain America to find the right Apple dongle, because the dongle bag wasn't there. Got it all, did all that. He ended up not using the picture. But during the event, because I was distracted with that, during the event, and welcome to the stream, Pork Chop Mike, during the event, he decided, or his handler left one of the microphones on the stage. Normally that's not a problem, the handhelds, but we had a person in a wheelchair who couldn't get into the line, who needed to ask a question. So I confirmed with his handler that it was okay that I go up there, and she just gave me a warning, said he is most likely going to play with you. It's like, I will try to get off the stage before he does that. And she just kind of gave me this, yeah, right, look. And she was right. I got up onto the stage. I was about halfway across, almost to the mic, and he looked over and saw me, and he moved back, put his arms around me, and said, well, hello, Captain America. I'm Captain Jack. And would you like to, well, then he said, I've been in the TARDIS. Would you like to serve your nation and come inside the TARDIS with me? And I mean, the room just lost it. And I'm sitting there thinking, how do I react in a way that's not going to tick them off, because they're just here to see him. They don't care about me. It's like, this is their show. So I kind of put my arm around him and just pretended like we were walking, but I immediately started to lift my hand off so he could go back, and he went back around and said a few things about, how his mom would react and how his dad would react and how his lawyer would react. And then went on with this thing. Well, later I had to adjust a a monitor that was having too much feedback. So I had to crawl up to the stage. As I'm leaning down trying to get it so there was no feedback coming through, he just walks over, lifts his dress, and just like not moons but sunshines me while I'm trying to fix, so he sounds good, so he can hear himself. And then the last part was that he was trying to decide if he wanted to continue to wear the dress at that's what I did wrong, at for another event, and he began to take it off. He was gonna put pants on and then just be shirtless until he put the shirt on. But then he decided to ask the audience, should I wear this or street clothes at the next event? Well, that was his, first mistake, asking them that. And of course, they said keep that. But he had already untied the dress. And thanks. And he looked around, and his security guy, because they provided special security for him, his security guy had gone backstage. And no one was there but me. So he just looks at me and says, would you mind tying my dress? And so he walks over to the back corner of the stage and just leans back so I can start tying. And unfortunately the camera's not on, so you can't see. I'm mimicking, him, me reaching up and tying him. And as I'm sitting there tying him, he just bends over and sticks his butt right in my chest. Well, so I can't tie his dress. So eventually I just raised my arms until he realized I wasn't going to finish tying it, and then he stood up. The whole time that was happening, when I was tying his dress, on the other side of that curtain, his husband was loudly laughing his head off. So yeah, that was my first encounter with John Barrowman. Quite the epic story. I think I need to shorten this one. That's what it is. Yeah. So just making mine match. The next day, I went to the Walk of Fame to get a signature for art, but that person had already left, and John Barrowman was still there. And I went over to the handler and asked if I could thank him for the fun, and she said sure, and put me at the front of the line, which of course everybody was like, oh, why does he go to the front of the line? All I had to do was turn around and say, I'm Captain America, and all of them were like, you go right ahead, man, that was awesome. And so I got to thank him, and he actually was like, dude, I need to thank you. Most people run when I start playing with them. So, and then he signed my badge. Yeah, he said that to me. And so then he signed my badge from, Captain Jack, lots of love to Captain America, and then put his name at the bottom. So yeah, I still have that. I have that badge. I just saw it recently, but I don't know where it is right now. But yeah, it's one of the only badges. I keep all the badges, but that's one for sure I will always keep. My encounter, my adventures with Captain Jack. So yeah, I don't know if anybody else has met him, but if you do, just be warned. Be ready for shenanigans. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Be ready for shenanigans. He's definitely the most memorable guest that I met at Dragon Con.
I had intended on having buying a kilt the day before and wearing the kilt that day, but I got to the vendor market.
Too late.
Yeah, but they didn't have kilts for sale where I went anyway. So I feel a little bad because you've heard about what he did this year, right?
Yes, I heard what he did this year. But our viewers may not have, so you might want to tell them.
Yeah, so he had everybody, amongst other horrible things that he had everybody with kilts on come up to the stage. And he did say that if you don't want to do this, you
Leave.
have to.
He gave them an out.
Go away if you're uncomfortable with this. He said what I'd like you to do, and he laid on his back, kicking his feet up. He laid on his back and asked everybody to walk in their kilts, walk over his head, nice big long step over his head.
Oh, hang on.
He would
Hang on.
audience
Hey, hang on. I gotta fix something. I need to kill the music and turn up the desktop audio. There, go. Now try again.
Okay, so restart or
Yeah.
Anyway, so everybody with kilts walk over John Barrowman's face, and he would then tell the audience whether they were wearing true kilt or not. You know, whether they were going commando.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so everybody, of course, was going commando, except two people who pulled their underoos off prior to walking over John Barrowman's face.
Welcome to a panel with John Barrowman.
Yeah.
I do have a fun Felicia Day story. If
Does it compare to that?
yeah, hold on. You may need to get closer to your mic,
Oh,
because I mean I've got ear levels above mine at this point.
well, let me look in. Let me put my level up in.
Turn
just
my
a little
volume, my game volume down a little. Now it's really loud in my ears.
Dang it! Where is my volume controls?
Did you hear this? What happened? Because I can retell it real quick. No, it's no fine. It's better to know.
Okay, is that any better? I bumped my output volume up about 6 or 7%.
We'll know when the 8-second delay is over.
Right?
Okay, so basically, John Barrowman had everybody in kilts at his panel come up to the stage, except the people that didn't want to participate, and he had them step over him in their kilts, so that he could see if they were going commando. And the only two that took their underoos off before they stepped over him right there on stage. Well, and like I said, welcome to a panel with John Barrowman. Okay, so the Felicia Day story.
Yeah.
So this was 2012. So this was my second year at Dragon Con. And this was back when video gaming was still in the Sheraton. It hadn't moved to the Hilton, or now it's over in the Westin. So I got to know the video gaming track director when I went in and saved their one of their panels by fixing stuff for him, and he and I have been friends ever since. So when it came time to do their party, it was a video game themed ball. Yeah. I will do. Well, he's on the Pixel Sharks thing, but I will give you his also. And then
Yeah, I never actually play on my own.
yeah, he's always playing on the Pixel Sharks one. And there's the Pixel Sharks one. So he's doing a bunch of Fallout 4 plays right now on Pixel Sharks. So, when it came time to do the party, he wanted to have the cast of the guild there, but the guild didn't want to come to the party because the previous years they had had issues with people taking pictures of them while they were at the party, and they just wanted to have fun. And so he assured them that they would have people there to make people put their cameras away.
Wait, who? Felicia Day's agent?
No, Kevin, the guy in charge of the video gaming track. They didn't want to come. The cast themselves didn't want to come. So once he assured them of that, they came. However, they didn't come in the right entrance, so they came in where everybody else comes in. They were, and they didn't know where to go. So all of the members except for Felicia got in the line to get in the party instead of going to one of the doors and asking for security or tech ops to let them in. So I go, he looks around, and I'm the only one near him that's free. So he says, "Can you go find them before everybody else realizes they're out there?" So I go out there, and I walk straight up. As soon as I walk out, I can see them. It was over in the part of the line that's near the restaurant, if anybody's familiar with the Sheraton Grand. And I see them right away. So I just start walking over, and the first thing I do is open up take down the little, little barrier, the line barrier things that they put up, and invite them out. And of course, everybody starts going, "Why are they getting special treatment? Why are they getting taken out of the line?" And I just kept staring at the people who were saying this until they you could see the look on their faces. And then I quickly put the thing back down and just escorted them away as they finally realized who had been standing in line with them, and they didn't even realize it. So, yeah. Fast forward 10 minutes. He gets a text message from Felicia saying, I don't know where the entrance is. So he's like, come over to the hotel and I'll have someone out there that you'll recognize from this room. Come get you and bring you in. So he just looked at me and he said, you're the only one she'll recognize because you run this room. So go out there and find her. And I go out there, and this is now in the portion that runs along the exits at the back, not over near the restaurant in the long hall towards the bathrooms, but towards the fire exit. And that's how long the line was at that point. And I look around, and I see Felicia standing in the line with the guests, not the talent, but the guests, the people who've paid to be there. She's just leaning over her cell phone with her hair down, because it was still long then, hair down to hide her face, just frantically texting away. And so I just walked straight over to the thing. I pulled it out and I was like, Miss Day, come with me. And she looked up and saw me, saw the Tech Ops badge and everything, and said, and just started following me. It was at that moment, and welcome to the stream, Fagwent. It was at that moment that everyone there realized who she was, and I quickly put the line back down and put my hand on her shoulder and just guided her over the door as quickly as I could. So then, because of that, I ended up in, because I had to show her to the back where the green room was. I was in the back when he had to pick people from his crew to be around Felicia and Michelle. I can't remember her character name. During the party, those are the two that he really cared about, making sure that, because those are the two that everyone's always there. Yeah, those are the ones that everyone's always trying to get a picture with. And so he looks around and he looks at me and says, Felicia knows you. Can you stick around? I was like, sure. So I stuck around, and then he put his other big guy on with Michelle, and I spent the rest of the night walking around the party as Felicia's escort. They went right out into the middle of the floor, and I was basically just standing there, not really dancing, but like she's inches from me dancing, and I'm just kind of putting my arm up to keep people away from her, occasionally telling people to put their phone away. They eventually started, like the crew eventually started asking me to make song requests of the DJ. Whenever Felicia would go for a break, I would get a break and just sit there and drink water. That was most of the evening. The most harrowing part of the night was when Sandeep decided with one of the Mythbusters, Grant Imahara. He came to the party. Yeah. Sandeep and Grant, with their girlfriends, and plus Michelle, decided to go when they realized there was a line that was still really long outside. They had so many people at that party, they had to just keep them outside until some people left. They decided to go up and down the line, in the line itself, to say hi to everybody so that they could at least have a chance to see them if they didn't make it into the party. Well,
this can be replicated on the other edges now.
Okay. Well, I think you extended out this one.
Well, no, I cut it back, then re-extended out.
Great. Fine. Okay, whoa, I'm going down. So yeah, they decided to go out and jump in the line to say hi to everybody. Well, the problem is hotel security was there, and they didn't know who they were. So they just see a bunch of people jumping in the line. The Grant and Sandeep jumped in the line. The Michelle and the two girls, other girls there, I don't remember their names. They did not. They just went up and down the side watching them. And so Sandeep and Grant are walking up and down, hands up, just high-fiving everybody. And here comes the security running down the line trying to get them because they jumped the line. And so then I step out of the line and wave my radio at them and show them that I'm with Tech Ops, but they didn't care. They're like, they're jumping the line. They need to. And so I just turned around and just looked at Grant and Sandeep and said, you come with me now. And then just rushed them back down with security chasing us until we ducked into the back of the stage and got them back there. And after that, security left them alone because they realized, oh, wait a minute, they couldn't go backstage if they weren't meant to be here.
Yeah.
So, and then...
Well, the hotel security sometimes is just...
Yeah.
Can be
well,
special.
And Grant and Sandeep, who were both slightly inebriated, they just kind of... Once they caught their breath, the five of them were standing there, and they're just like, dude, you saved us. We would have gone to jail. You saved us. We need a picture to remember this moment. And so Michelle steps over with her camera, with her phone, and takes a snapshot of me, Sandeep, Grant Imahara, and the two girls that were with them. And I found that picture on Michelle's Twitter account and saved it. But Sandeep is so short and he was so tipsy that when he grabbed me to pull me into the picture, he pulled me over. So what you see in the picture, I'll find it sometime. I'm really short in the picture because I'm falling, like I'm just falling in the game right there. I'm falling into him. Right after she snapped the picture, I actually fell over onto him. So yeah, that was the most harrowing part of that night. After that, thankfully, they spent most of their time in the backstage area, smoking things that I'm pretty sure were illegal in Georgia to smoke.
But DragonCon isn't Georgia.
DragonCon isn't Georgia. This is true. No, this one was supposed to be there.
DragonCon is its own special animal.
Yeah, and the end of the night, I stayed through the entire party. At the end of the night, the whole guild cast came over and gave me hugs for making their party so enjoyable, and I still didn't want to leave Felicia Day, and walking around without, for people to take pictures of her, and she was staying in that hotel. So I walked her to the elevator, and put her on there and said goodnight, and she went, and that was the evening. I encountered Brian. What? No, we do not condone smoking things in.
And Brian would not
Oh.
know necessarily what he was looking at or smelling.
Yeah.
So for libel purposes, he hasn't said anything.
I don't know what they were actually smoking.
Supposition.
Yeah, I don't know what they were actually smoking. They could have just been totally inebriated. But there were so many people at that party. The guy that played Superman in Lois and Clark, he was there. I think Will Wheaton showed up at some point. There were so many TV people it was just a big, giant party. And the next day, ironically, the person who had the most brains on him during that party was Vince Queso, the guy who played the selfish teenager who Blades. Yeah, he played Blades. He went to bed early because he knew that they had
He was responsible.
Yeah, he knew that they had a 10 a.m. panel in that room the next day.
Oh, yeah, but how many panels do guests come at and they're just...
Yeah, well, so when they showed up at the panel, he was the only one who wasn't suffering any side effects. But
Because it's DragonCon.
yeah, so what I did to him was so funny. And some of this is on YouTube also. I should find the cuts and put them in links on the YouTube channel. The YouTube video of this. At the party, he had been having fun dancing, and he was doing that thing where that you grab your foot, you're on one foot, and you put your arm behind your head, and you bring your knee up and your head down, and then you bring your foot back behind you and your head up. And he was doing it repeatedly, really, really quickly. It was horrible. And at the party, at the Q&A, I needed to end the Q&A because we needed them to go, and so I got in line and was the last one. And they actually, when they saw me step up, they're like, "You're the guy from last night." And then they started raving about what was going on. I was like, "Okay, it's great. Thanks, guys. Thanks. But I have a question. They made me ask a question." So I looked straight at Blades, and he got this look in his face like, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "So last night you were showing off some really interesting dance moves." And that's all I had to say. The crowd just went bonkers trying to get him, and so did the cast. And so he kind of gave me this look like, "You son of a dirt," whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. He didn't actually say it on the mic. Thank goodness. But he got up and he did it, and it was videoed. And the next day, Felicia had heard about it when their last panel in that room near the beginning. Near the beginning of the Q&A, they were asked, "What interesting talents do you have that most people don't know?" And so Felicia was thinking about it. She's like, "I don't really know what talents I have that people don't know about." And then she looked to her left and looked at Vince and said, "Oh, wait a minute, you have a talent that that people here probably don't know about." And he And I'm in the back. I'm in the back in a bright red shirt. And I just jumped up on a chair and just raised my hands in victory. And he says on here, "Is like, that guy back there, he made me get up and do that in front of you." Well, now you've said it, you need to show everybody what the big deal was. And so he got up and did it again. After the first panel, he's like, "Dude, I'm going to kill you." But from that point on, he was cool about it. Actually, I still talk to him on Facebook sometimes. So yeah, that was a pretty epic Dragon Con for me. I still think the day that started with John Barrowman and ended with me hoisting Mjolnir in front of a crowd of 1,500 screaming fans was probably my best day at Dragon Con.
This was
Amy's
first year, and she twisted her ankle something pretty fierce.
Aw.
She has been in a boot ever since.
Oh, you're taking care of her, right? You're taking good care of her, right? Good.
Have better care of her than her family does.
So, the game mechanic, since you are in a story mood, that day after the John Barrowman thing, because I was dressed as Captain America, they had the Miss Star Trek Universe pageant in that same ballroom. And the Miss Star Trek Universe pageant is a talent. It's a talent show, like a beauty pageant. They come out and they have a bio where they walk around and the judges judge their cosplay, and then the quality of their cosplay, and then they have a talent portion, and then they have a Q&A part. And so this year, Michelle, in her now fairly well known in Dragon Con character Marta Stalvart, the Klingon version of Martha Stewart, for those that don't get it.
Amazing.
It was her second appearance.
2 years in a row now? Yeah.
She did it 3 years.
Marta Salvart?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. She skipped 2000. No, I think she's done more than that. She did T'Pol once, and then she's done Marta Stalvart 4 times. But this was her second time there, I think, as Marta Stalvart. Anyway, yeah. She was doing a show called Decorating with the Spoils of War. And so she had things like a skin-colored lampshade, which was her the Cassandra line of thing, which the Doctor Who fans will know what I'm talking about. And she had a lightsaber that she said she just found lying around somewhere. And this is, of course, before anybody knew anything about The Force Awakens. Just that it had been lost, laying around. And so she's like, "Yeah, I don't know what you can do with it. Maybe you can stick a candle in it, hang it on the wall, set it on a table. It can make a nice centerpiece." And in some pieces, you just kind of, when you set them down, you just know the right place. And she lifts up a blanket off the floor, and I had made a styrofoam version of Mjolnir for her, and the crew that had set it up had set it down for her when they went out there, and she couldn't move it. So she's like, "Yeah, just some things you just kind of leave them where you find them." And then then she got to the last piece. And before I tell you the last piece, I need to tell you how they entertain the crowd before the show. They bring out Klingons and they play Kahless Says. And nobody survives Kahless Says. Okay? It doesn't matter if you do everything right. The Klingons will kill you because they're Klingons. If we did learn nothing from Sunday's episodes of Star Trek Discovery, their language is violence, and they will do it often. So knowing this and trying to, this was the first year that Michelle really was like, I'm just going to go entertain the crowd. If I win, I win. I'm just going to go entertain the crowd. And so mostly me, I conspired with the Klingons to set her thing up. Yeah, exactly. Death by words. To set her bit up. And so I challenged them to bring me on the stage as Captain America and fight, but at some point in the thing betray me and stab me in my back and steal my sword or steal my shield. So they did. I got up on the stage and it was we were fighting there, and that's how I got the scars on the shield from a bat'leth. I did actually get scars on my shield from a bat'leth. And after they stabbed me in the back and killed me, they rolled me off the stage, and the crowd, of course, booed because I was Captain America. And one of the guys, he really took it to the far. He's like, "Oh, he's a comic book superhero. He'll come back to life." And they took the shield and gave it to Michelle. So then when she came out to do her bit, she's like, when some things, you know, when you capture them in battle, you just have to display them. And she flipped the cover off the table and held up my shield. And of course, everyone started laughing because they realized, well, wait a minute, that's the shield the Klingons stole. And so then her bit was done, and she left, and the stage crew came out and couldn't pick up Mjolnir. They left it there. Garrett Wong, who played Harry Kim on Star Trek Voyager, he's the MC of this event, and he's looking down at Mjolnir going, is someone going to pick this up? And right about the time he did that, I came bursting out from behind the curtains, ran up on the stage, grabbed Mjolnir, and just lifted it over my head as I ran back to the back of the stage. And I mean, I don't think I've heard that room get louder. Maybe during the tournament this year with people beating themselves in swords, I heard it get close, but Deitch at the back said that it was one of the highest decibels he remembers that room ever getting to. So, yeah, that was a pretty epic moment. Me on the stage as Captain America. What are you doing now?
It's one off from where it should be.
Oh, you got to move the whole thing over? Joy.
No.
I keep distracting you.
Extension out was one off. That's all.
Yeah, Dragon Con is such a fun experience. You never know what's gonna happen to you.
It's,
it's hard to describe.
They're bigger. I'll describe it. There are bigger conventions, but it is still a big convention. It's, I think, the only big convention in the country that goes 24 hours a day.
Gen Con does, but they're just all playing games.
Well, yeah. It's a game convention, but nothing more. Dragon Con, so you cross the boundaries of...
We'll catch you later, Gaming Mechanic.
Oh, hey, thanks for watching, and see you later.
You should definitely catch his stream if you're up in the morning sometimes. He does a 4 or 5 hour stream starting at 10 a.m. Central. It's great.
Okay.
And he showed my book off.
Mm-hmm.
So surreal to see people do that. So anyway, you're describing Dragon Con.
Oh, yeah. So 24/7, it's a 24-hour, it never stops. While people may sleep, the con does not sleep.
No. There are two different crowds that go to con. The crowd that's up during the day and the crowd that's up during the night.
Yeah. And while, yes, you do have people that, participate in kind of family-friendly ways, and there are, as long as you go to bed by, 8 or 9 o'clock at night, it's a relatively family-friendly con.
If you go to bed by before 8 o'clock, get the kids out of there.
I mean, you can have... Well, okay, so they have this... This has been 2 years in a row that they've gotten rid of the BDSM panels, but that stuff is still happening, just not official con. So that... I mean, you've got... So this is, again... So 2 years now, they don't have the BDSM panels, but so they've got adult-oriented things, very adult-oriented things. They've got parties all night long. For example, the rave didn't even start till 3 in the morning.
Something is not right on this side over here.
Panels, you've got autographs, you've got gaming that never ends. You've got, we have 3 floors of vendors this year.
We've had 3 floors of vendors since they moved to the America's Mart.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've got all of the beauty and wonderful and big names of a large con, but the freedom of a purely fan con.
That's the thing. It's the only con in the world that's run by fans. Comic-Con is run by the industry. It's all about making them money. When stars appear at Comic-Con, they appear there because they're required to, not because they want to be there. Some of them do, but that appearance is required. They cannot skip it.
I think this level's done now.
It looks like a football.
Mm-hmm.
Which side are we looking at? Where'd my thing go?
I'm above 10 forward right now.
No, I was looking at I was bringing the schematic up. So yeah, this is the butt. Yeah, there's the impulse engines. Oh, bye, Moon.
Good night, Moon.
Yeah, it does look like a football. I wonder where Art is. Let me message her.
Okay, so it is 21:30. I am gonna call it a night.
Yeah, I probably should too.
I'm trying. So, okay. So last year, at the end of September, I went to Anime Weekend Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I am flying out on Friday to Seattle for Geek Girl Con. Really excited. I'm going to be taking Werewolf there, and
He's not taking a literal werewolf. It's a game called Werewolf.
Ultimate Werewolf. Yeah. If you've never heard of it, it is. Oh man.
It's different.
The gaming conventions across the country, and then in the southeast, it's got a monstrous following. Just huge following. So
It's got a big enough following that DragonCon TV regularly makes fun of them.
Yes. Let's see. Yeah, in a single day I don't know. Yeah, it's obscene how many people come to, particularly DragonCon. But I mean, it has its own convention. We actually had financial support by a couple game companies this year. A subdivision of the gaming track dedicated to Deception games this year, which is great because we have our own Deception convention in February. Anyway, so I'm bringing Ultimate Werewolf and maybe a couple other games out to Geek Girl Con in Seattle and introduce the West Coast to this obscene obsession.
I'm going to be at Dallas Fan Expo here in a couple weeks.
Really?
Yep. I wanted to volunteer, but apparently you get paid to be there. And I'm pretty sure with my DragonCon experience, I think it's because they were having a hard time getting volunteers for it. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I just wanted to volunteer, so I went to fill out the volunteer application, and they required me to print out a W-4 and bring so that
Okay.
So don't know, but I'm pretty sure that because I listed my DragonCon experience on there, I'm pretty sure that alone would get me in the door as a volunteer.
Oh yeah, definitely. I had volunteered to moderate Deception games at Gen Con this year, but so I had done this before I ever really got to know the guy that runs the company. Because at Gen Con is an industry convention. It's not a fan convention like a lot of people may think. It's an industry convention. Origins and Gen Con are industry conventions. They have, it's their time to debut all of the new wonderful things. Anyway, so this company, and I'm not going to get myself in trouble by.
See you when you get back, Fluffy.
All right, see you.
No, he's restarting.
Oh, okay. So I had volunteered to go moderate Deception games at Origins, but then as the months progressed, I realized that the guy that runs the company, not for Origin, not for Gen Con in general, but the company that does the Deception games at Gen Con, I realized this guy is such a tool. He was an a-hole. He would get on people that tried to message him. He would, I don't know, it.
And this is saved for posterity.
Yeah, that's why I'm not saying any names. But anyway, so he was such an a-hole, and so I, canceled my volunteer.
He's a donkey, kids. That's what he's trying to say. He's a donkey.
Yeah, he's a major donkey. Oh, he's a tool.
Well, yes, but we just had the game mechanic in our channel. Do you really want to be calling someone that?
A tool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I'd like to see the game mechanic pick him up and throw him around a bit. Just to see who he is.
Think.
But so,
This
I
is where
mean,
need
I was
to
still
be.
professional about it. I gave them plenty of notice, so they weren't going to be short-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Next year I'm going to be still going back for the gaming, but there's kind of an underground Deception games movement at Gen Con because this guy is such a pain in the
Batuski,
the burrow's rump.
son of a beast. That's what I was trying to say earlier. I knew I'd remember it. Yeah, it's too bad that both Fluffy and Game Mechanic are gone because I could tell them, I forgot to say what I thought I should have, late because, hindsight's 20/20, and I figured out later what I should have said to Captain Jack when I was standing on that stage.
Oh, what?
I wouldn't be the first captain inside the TARDIS.
To come inside the TARDIS?
No, I said, no, I would have just said I would not be because he asked me to come inside, and I said, well, I wouldn't be the first captain in the TARDIS, and he's standing there wearing the TARDIS.
Yeah.
So. But you know what they say, hindsight's 20/20.
Yes.
And in the moment, I just wanted to get off the stage because they weren't there to see me. They were entertained by what he was doing, but they were not there to see me.
You were just a prop. It's okay.
I was a prop, not a tool, a prop.
Yes. There's a difference. Props are fun in the hands of a master. Tools. Well,
So
they
you're
can be
getting
abused.
ready to jet.
I am.
When are you playing next, and what are you playing next?
Probably Fallout again tomorrow. We're going to be continuing. Let's see, what is it? I'm calling it episode 13. Right now, we're clearing out super mutants out of the Poseidon water treatment facility. Okay, looks like I need 3 more here on the end.
What episode are you on now?
13B, 13C, something like that.
Yeah, it's when I do although I don't think enough of them are on Twitch anymore. I was trying to keep up with the vodcasts and like basically putting all of your episodes, like once you completed an episode, so put all of 12 in one.
Yeah.
So, but I need to pick a night to do that. And I was doing it on the Pixel Sharks channel.
Mm-hmm.
So, because you can't unless I download yours from YouTube, I can't do it on my channel.
It's too bad you can't do that though.
I can well, see, that's the thing. I do recordings of all of mine too. So eventually I'm gonna plan a day in where I start editing those to eventually replace, to put them on as replacements for the things that are on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Because
all right, what color should we have?
I can put highlight
phaser,
videos.
For the phasers.
The
I'd like to use
fee.
glowstone for the phasers.
Yeah.
But we could just do yellow terracotta.
Yeah, because we might want to use glowstone for the because magma doesn't quite look right for the impulse. Well, I guess it does because it's kind of orange.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you tricked me.
Huh?
My eyes tricked me. I trusted my eyes. I shouldn't have trusted my eyes. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be on tomorrow at all. Maybe. We'll see. If I hopefully, I've already got my assignment. If I get a good start in the morning, I may do a creative stream in the afternoon.
Mm.
I need to get my figure out a good time to do my writing stream.
Well, you also still need to get that cross stitch stream done, right?
Well, yeah, but I've done more of those than I've done the writing stream.
Oh, okay. I marked where I'd like to put the phaser line,
Mm-hmm.
the phaser array on the top of the ellipse.
Mm-hmm. I'm just laying out the.
Look at this, man. This is cool. This is freaking awesome.
It's actually starting to look like what we intended it to.
Right? Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. Actually, it's probably gonna look a little clunky because I have been eyeballing it for the most part.
That's fine. Oh, I hear art. Cool. That's my signal to get off.
And actually, before I get off, I'm going to throw a weather time block.
Oh, so I can turn the weather off?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm just getting off. I was just waiting for you to come home.
Hi, Art.
I never did a swag
Mind,
book survey.
Question myself.
I'm afraid if I try to do one of these short ones now, they're gonna pour me
Yeah.
into one of those awful
Chel-
ones. I can always just quit.
Yeah, Cellist Mike says hi.
Okay.
Game Mechanic, who watched us play Civ in the morning, he's the one that did one of the book giveaways. He loves all my Dragon Con stories, including the one with Martos Dalvart and the Klingons. When you
See my Alpine-inspired shorts.
Nice. What did you
Oh,
need
I-
Alpine and what do you need Alpine inspired shorts for?
I just needed more loose-fitting shorts for riding a bike.
Okay. All right, so I was hoping to be Fluffy will be back so I could say goodnight to him. But
Yeah.
that's going to be let me switch over to this. Move that camera. So I'm going to pass a host here in just a second. I'm just...
You're gonna pass a host? That's gonna hurt, man.
No, that's not what I meant, and you know it. There's my pretty face. My pretty face. I'm gonna pass a host to Dukes88. I'm pretty sure he's still on. Let me check and see. Dukes, are you still on? Dukes is a highly entertaining streamer. Yep, he's still on. Definitely gonna pass that over in just a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna be getting off myself as well.
We'll probably be back tomorrow for a creative stream. You can follow the channel to get updates on that. You can join the Discord, as you can see right there in that link over there to the right. And you can follow me on Twitter at Nidfar for updates. My extra, you can find all the extra life information you need at tiny.cc/pixelsharks. You can find me there, you can find Jealous Mike there, and soon you'll be able to find the other team members. Just got to get them on there. So let me...
Alright, and the set weather to clear button is in place now as well.
Cool. So...
Alright, everybody. We are out, I think, yes?
Yeah, you can close yours. I'm getting ready to do a host.
Remember, go to tiny.cc/pixelsharks. No underscore.
So...
Alright, I am done.
There's a link to Dukes' channel. I'm going to go over there as soon as I finish also. So thanks everybody for coming and listening to us talk about Star Trek. And remember, I got to put spoiler thing on the title.
Oh, yes. Well, you didn't really spoil anything, did you?
Yeah, we talked about some things. The fate of certain characters and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, what I just want to tell you what pissed me off. Because it was the only thing that actually made me upset.
Well?
At the very beginning, when she's tracing out the emblem in the sand.
Oh, yes. Yep, I got it.
Yes. Did Michael not realize that they weren't walking in or that they were walking funny?
My better question is, how did that storm not cover up those tracks by the time they got to the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
it was
what
just...
Amy said is, how could they see it if their sensors weren't working?
No, their sensor, they couldn't get a sensor lock. That didn't mean they couldn't see the surface. They were too small to see. So that was making something bigger that they could see. That made sense. Making something that big, that managed to stay there. That's a whole different ball of wax there. So, all right. Yeah. So, thanks everybody for.
Discord.
Yeah, you do that.
Night, glitch.
Gute Nacht. Schlaft gut. So, here we go. Thanks everybody for joining, and be sure to go over to Dukes' channel and give him a watch, follow if you don't. So.